So my name's Louise and this is Heidi, who's now 6 weeks old, who was born here in the Perth birthing unit, and we're just here today to discuss why we chose Perth as our birthing place. So my name's Louise and this is little Heidi, and she's 6 weeks old and was born here in Perth. So yeah, I've had a previous daughter born in Perth, which was a successful water birth. So this time around I kind of had the same expectation. I wanted it to be kind of hopefully all smooth, and this time around all my appointments were up in the unit with my midwife, who I seen at every appointment that was booked in with a student, so we kind of managed to build a nice relationship. We got on really well actually. It was all very natural when I came in, and kind of almost like a mother figure, you know, you could tell her anything, and it was a really good rapport. So my plan was always just to do another birth in Perth. I like the unit, it's nice and homely, it's nice and modern, it's a separate building from the other building, so you're straight in and right into the matty. You kind of get to know everyone's faces and stuff as well. And yeah, luckily on the day when it all happened, my midwife was on shift with the student, and Heidi played ball. We were up here for about 2 o'clock and she was born at 6:20, and everything was fine. I got checked over and we were away by 9:30 that night, you know, so it all went smooth. My midwife was literally there from when we came in until checked us out that night, and everything was fine, yeah. So it was kind of always been in my head, Perth. We're very local, we're nearby, it just made sense. There was no reason why we would go anywhere else, really. You're awake now. Where are you? Settle. Yeah, so on this occasion, I've had a daughter previously. She's 5 years old, and on the last time, my last antenatal journey, I kind of had different midwives throughout, just with the circumstances, you know, midwives leaving and getting new ones, and then it was a separate midwife when I gave birth. It still went smoothly, but this time around I had the same midwife from my booking an appointment right through my sweeps, everything, and then it just so happened on the day my midwife was in, so she got to deliver baby, which was really good because we'd built a really good relationship from booking appointments. You know, if I needed a reminder, I could just drop her a message. It was a very kind of informal relationship we built up in the end, so I felt like I could contact her just to prompt me and remind me about things or ask her anything. And because we've seen each other at every journey, she kind of knew my family background, you know, she could ask about Jessica and my partner and what was happening at home and things, so, and I knew about her and her life, and it was just a really natural kind of relationship, very informal, and I would say borderline friends by the end of it. I think we felt really close. So on the day of giving birth, to have her there was actually, it was really nice actually, almost like, I say, a mother figure. You know, months go by with the pandemic and the lockdown and things, we'd really got a good bond. And then when it came to actually going into labour, I'd been given all the information in terms of who to contact. So at both my sweeps, I was well, you know, kind of warned to say, if your waters break, this is what you need to do. You need to let us know, because obviously after 24 hours we'd need checked over. So I kind of had all the phone numbers and who to call and when. Obviously I knew when my waters went I wasn't to come to the hospital, but I just had to let you guys know because, you know, that's when things could start happening very quickly. So my waters went 3 AM after having a sweep the previous day, which never happened with Jessica. My waters broke in the pool with her, so it was good to know that, right, I just need to give them a call, give them a heads up. It did go through to 9 Wells, but they obviously said phone back if you feel things are happening, and they would just have someone come into PRI unit. So although there was no one they here to speak to at the time, I knew exactly what the process was if I needed to go along to the unit, so that was good, and it wasn't until probably late morning I actually phoned back and said that things are, you know, ramping up and starting to happen, and it was around 2 PM I phoned, and to be honest it was quite good. They let me decide. I went in and said, this is where I'm at, and they said, well, you've had a baby before, what do you feel? And so I kind of just gauged the right time for us, and we headed along, and it was quite timed quite well. Things had ramped up quite nicely by the time we got here. So like I said, I was only in the hospital 4 hours and Heidi was born, just with gas and air. All had went smooth, and like I say, it was my midwife when I got here, so a nice friendly face to welcome us for our labour, yeah. Yeah, so quite early on one of my appointments I was asked where I would like to give birth. Previously given birth in Perth, so right away my answer was Perth. I've very familiar with the unit. My sister's given birth here. Like I say, know quite a few of the faces. I know there is the option of, you know, 9 wells and things, and I'm aware that quite often people go there with any complications, but wasn't a worry because I know how nearby it is. If I did need to go, getting there wouldn't be an issue. So my first point, as long as everything went smooth, Perth was where I wanted to give birth. Yeah, and what I liked about Perth is that I like the fact that it's private rooms with the ensuite toilet that I got to use last time when I had Jessica. It was really good because you had your own privacy, although, you know, the midwives could come in as and when, but you just felt segregated, had your time with baby and kind of peace to bond and just chill with the wee one. Yeah, and what I like about Perth is the fact that the postnatal rooms are private, with your, you know, ensuite toilet, so you've got that time to recover after the birth. Obviously the midwives can come in, but it means you've got that one-on-one time with the baby and your partner, so that was really part of the decision to stay in Perth, as opposed to a big ward. Yeah, and once I'd had Heidi, it was about 6:20 at night, and what I loved was the option was given to me whether to stay the night. I was more than welcome to stay or, you know, get sorted and go home. And for me, my decision was, as long as everything was okay, once it'd been checked over and Heidi had been checked over, I was a lot happier just to get home and be comfy and get settled. I'm quite local to the hospital, so I knew I had the option if I went home and for whatever reason I needed to come back or call in for advice. I knew exactly who to call and what the arrangements would be for me, so I was more than confident to leave a few hours later. So yeah, it was good.